If the Lions go 12-4, I'm sending this tape in to ESPN.
Welcome to Champs, baby.
Birthday. We don't win in the specific years that I want us to win.
Let's go! Let's go! I was big on them, and so was Chandler. Because he's not the better player. Watch them play football.
Oh my God! You watched the highlights? Did you watch Johnny Manziel's highlights when he? Whoa, guys! Look at me! I'm gonna go throw the ball.
If Stidham outperforms Newton, Stidham's gonna start. That's all you have. How are you gonna win the division with that? How's it going, everybody, and welcome to the weekly NBA, NHL, and MLB recap all in one episode. The first episode that we're going to do where it's all grouped together. You're going to see all the news from all of the sports that are going on right now, except for football. We have a separate episode for that, which if you haven't already seen, make sure to go check it out. So for this episode, we're going to be starting off with the NBA stuff, and then we'll dive into some hockey and baseball later. I don't know why I almost said basketball there, but my name is Nick Antonagas, and we're starting off here with the basketball crew. We got Stuart Brooks and Chandler Betts with us. How you guys doing?
I'm hungry.
Stuart's hungry. Chandler's doing good. We're ready to dive into it. Since the last time we were together, the second round has concluded, and the Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals are both underway. Let's start off with the wrap-up of the second round. So we had Celtics versus the Raptors. Raptors winning Game 6. Well, wait, no. How long ago was this? We filmed last Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Game 6 still hadn't happened.
It was Game 6. Yeah, it was Game 6 and Game
6,
7. Raptors won Game 6. Then the Celtics won a heartbeat. Game 7, coming away with the win. It was, one in a heartbeat, I guess. I don't really know what I'm saying right now.
But trying to say hard fought.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Heart pounding.
But, Game 6, we almost won. Double overtime. Taking the L, but
should have won that bullshit.
Yeah, that sucked.
No, it didn't matter.
Didn't matter, but we still should have won it. Kyle Lowry was just freaking destroying Kemba in the one-on-one at the end. It was an epic battle. But Kemba got fouled at the end, so Tony Brothers clearly has it up for Celtics. And also Kemba, speaking of him, he could not have played any worse in the Game 6.
Yeah,
he scored 5 points. I mean, at that point, just put Brad Wanamaker in. I mean, what the?
And Brad was cooking too.
Yeah, he had 6 points in the total game. He made 2 threes in the second that really kept us in it. We were winning by 11. We should have won that game. We didn't, but it's okay because in Game 7, they sucked. Kyle Lowry fouled out. We love to see it. We won the game.
Oh yeah.
Credit to the Raptors, they played well, but pandemic P, as in Pascal Siakam, did not play well. He basically played for us that game, so we got the win.
Nick Nurse.
Go Celtics.
So annoying.
Piss me off.
Holy crap. He's on the sidelines. Nonstop, just screaming.
Yeah.
I lost all respect for Nick Nurse that game. Not even that series in general.
And now he has to go home and cry.
Good.
Yeah. I have a question.
I'm ashamed to share the same name as him.
Stuart would have an answer to this. What do you guys think? Kind of disrespectful. So what do you think is going to happen to the Raptors roster this offseason?
Okay,
Fred VanVleet is gone.
Fred VanVleet's probably gone, but I wouldn't say it's 100% chance because Toronto might want to keep the core together. Also, I saw today that Marc Gasol is considering playing in Europe to be near his family, which I think will happen because he's getting a lot older. The whole rosters are getting younger, but they still have a good amount of depth. Players under contract. I'd say they just run it back. I think you're muted. They just run it back, and they're good, and they lose probably in the second round the following year. I think they need to continue to sell tickets and generate interest, especially after Kawhi left. And also, they're hoping that they can get Giannis or maybe even Kawhi Leonard in the following offseason. Yeah. So they're trying to keep the team relatively light so that they're not going to make a big move, trying to keep it light. Because also I think Lowry's a free agent too, so I wouldn't be surprised if they try to sign him in 2021 on a more team-friendly deal. Try to get somebody like Giannis or potentially Kawhi Leonard in the following offseason. And, that's the way it's going to go. I think this year is sort of intermental. The one that's coming up, they'll be, slightly worse. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think the thing that the Raptors are going to have to – first of all, you have to start by keeping Lowry around because he was not only the leader of this team, but he's been pretty efficient consistently throughout the bubble. So definitely a guy to keep around, even though, he is getting pretty old at this point.
He's 34.
Yeah.
34.
But, you need that leadership in your locker room. But, yeah, I totally agree with Stuart saying. But I don't know if they're going to be able to get a guy like Giannis. Like, that's going to take a lot of cap space to do. Same
I
with
think they
Kawhi.
would have enough.
They'll have a max contract slot.
They'll have a max slot. If Van Vliet leaves and Lowry, because he's a free agent in 2021, they were to re-sign him on a relatively team-friendly deal, they could. They would have enough space. They'll have a max spot. But
Yes, yeah. Van Vliet, though,
He's
I think
the
he's
Knicks or
going
something.
to
I think he's going to the Knicks or something. Or maybe like Indiana. Someone's going to offer him a big contract.
Yeah.
I think it's possible if he stays, but I'm going to say it's pretty likely that he'll leave.
Mm-hmm. Especially because they're going to want to keep that potential max slot for 2021.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. Giannis with the Bucks, that would be just – I mean, not the Bucks, but the Raptors, that would be nuts.
Yeah. But, yeah. So, there you go.
But it is a possibility. Yeah, but that's pretty much – that's a wrap for Toronto. Celtics move on to the Eastern Conference Final. We'll get into a little bit of the Eastern Conference Final a little bit later, but let's move back. Oh, Chandler, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying bye to the Raptors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you had another point.
Spicy P cannot be a number one option on a winning team.
No, but he could be a number 2 on a very good team.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a number one. No. His spin moves weren't enough to carry them to the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. Spin move.
Yeah, but now let's move to the West. A huge upset. Stuart and I's favorite to win the NBA championship this year. The Los Angeles Clippers are out, losing to the Nuggets, who I had a vendetta with
you guys
since
both
the start.
hated the Nuggets.
I didn't know. I didn't hate them, but Nick
I
hated
just
them.
hated the Nuggets. I just hated them.
I just didn't think they were going to be any better. Because it just didn't seem like they improved from last season, and that's what a lot of people were saying about this team, specifically because of Murray, whose numbers were literally identical to last season. And it turned out that I guess he just decided to turn it up in the playoffs. Why does Nick keep muting? And in the bubble, is this because of Andrew? But anyway, so yeah, they turned up. I'm going to focus on the Nuggets right now, just because it's not just Jokic and Murray's unbelievable play, but it was also Grant knocking down shots in Game 7, Millsap going off in Game 6 for
oh my god, yeah,
points, coming back, playing defense, offense. I mean,
and with that hustle rebound,
and the 3-pointer, a very, very good and amazing series by this young Nuggets team. Jokic is only 24, Murray's only 22. Really, the sky's the limit for this team. And, I don't think they're going to beat the Lakers, but, anything could happen. Anything could happen in these 4 games in the bubble, no home court. They could win the championship. I mean, I'm not going to say that they will, but,
imagine.
It's not like – this isn't like last year with Portland against the Golden State Warriors where, Portland has no chance to actually win the championship. I think they have a real chance to at least be competitive with the Lakers.
Everyone has a chance. I think all 4 teams left have a legitimate chance of winning the championship this year. But I think we should hop back to Jokic just for a sec. Just absolutely popping off. I think the best offensive center in the entire league at this point.
I think he's the best big man.
I think he's the best big man, yeah.
Big man is the only other person with argument.
He's definitely the best passing big man in the history of the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just incredible. I mean, you can't say too much about him, but can't say enough about him. But he's just a beast, man.
Since you guys both talked a lot about the Nuggets, I'm gonna take the opposite thing. I'm gonna talk about the Clippers.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have this team. Paul George said coming into the bubble, he said we came in here expecting to win, and that was their problem.
Damn.
They were the opposite in terms of mentality. They were the opposite of the Nuggets. When you're down 3-1, you have nothing to lose at that point.
Mm-hmm.
No team had ever come back from 2 3-1 deficits in one playoff run. First team to ever do that. There's this for the one person who's watching this, I'm sure, only one person that watches soccer. This Nuggets team was a lot like Liverpool in the way that they've coined the term mentality monsters. It means that whatever the situation is, you're going to figure out a way to win. And it's different in the regular season when the goal is just to win a single game versus in a series when, you have to win in 7. You have to win 4 games. So the Nuggets have clearly found a way to win these games. The Nuggets were really good. I don't want to take anything away from them, but the Clippers were just appalling.
Yeah.
Paul George.
No.
Oh, so you trade Shea, you trade Gallinari, you trade your 2021, 23, and 25 picks, and then 22, 24, 26 picks, and then pick swaps on 23 and 25.
Yeah.
And you do all of that to get somebody. You get playoff P. The goal is not to be the best
Pandemic
in the Western Conference in the regular.
Pandemic P.
Pandemic P.
I mean,
this is terrible. I wouldn't be surprised if Paul George. I don't expect this to actually happen, but I wouldn't be surprised entirely if Paul George isn't a Clipper coming into this 2021-22 season.
He might not be. There's a legit chance.
2021. Not 21.
So I think this team.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to make because Chandler made this comparison with the soccer team. I'd make this comparison at least with two NBA teams that would come to my mind, and it would be actually the Boston Celtics from last season and the Miami Heat from 2011. There's parallels on both teams.
Absolutely.
With the Heat, it's really the mentality thing because you have this team that, like, they basically all year long were just like – they acted like a team that had just already won the championship or two championships, and this was, like, the third year. And, like, they got Kawhi. They're like, oh, yeah, we got this. Lou Williams talking about the parade. Patrick Beverley saying that, like, you know, the next 5 years are his to Steph Curry, all that stuff. And, you know, there is something to be said about how well they were playing at certain points. They were beating the Lakers earlier in the season. Kawhi was playing well, you know. But the problem was, they did not have chemistry. This group had only played 11 games together, this full roster before the bubble. They took all these months off. So there's no reason to have all this confidence in your overall team if you're not going to have any chemistry. And they just acted like they had already done something, kind of like that Heat team back in 2011. And then secondly, it's the fit. The fit wasn't terrible, but in this series specifically, it kind of reminds me of the Celtics where it was just they had too many guys. Like Kawhi and Paul George are one thing, but then you have another guy who's going to take a lot of shots in every game, even though they're usually good shots with Morris. Then you have Lou Williams who's on the floor with them. You have to get Harrell shots. It's just too many mouths to feed, and they just couldn't figure out a way that they could have reduced the shots for certain players and kind of just like made it work out more. Like Morris should have played more like a spot-up shooter and less like the ISO player he was accustomed to. It just didn't work out, kind of like that Celtics team. So in both cases, it didn't fit. They had the wrong mentality. In the end, they got shocked by a hungry and young, talented team in Denver. And it's not surprising when you look at it from that angle, but just from the looking at it from the course of the season, it is quite shocking to see that a team as talented as the Clippers didn't even make it to the conference finals.
The Los Angeles Clippers, whether you're talking about the Los Angeles Clippers, the San Diego Clippers, or the Buffalo Braves, in their entire franchise history, they have never made the conference finals.
Wow.
They're a cursed franchise. That's the only way.
Even the Lions have made an NFC Championship game.
I know.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, they've lost 3 Game 7s in the 21st century. I think all of them being in the conference semifinals. They lost in 2006. They lost.
Actually, 4. There's one more. Yeah, they lost 06. They're the fourth. They lost in 06, like you said. They lost in 2015. They also lost in the first round in 2017 against Gordon Hayward and the Jazz. But then obviously, as you're saying,
this is
another comparison.
They lost.
Okay.
Oh man.
I saw something. Because obviously, maybe not obviously. I know I saw many things. But Kawhi Leonard and Paul George both have a player option after this season.
Yeah, this upcoming.
Think about what happens if this team underperforms again. They're gone. They're gone. No draft.
This Clippers is now the Clippers is now the Nets, but even
they're literally
worse.
the Nets. Yeah.
Oh.
This is I would be terrified if I were a Clippers fan.
I think I would try to trade for some assets at this point.
Yeah, you have to get another piece. You got to get rid of Paul George. Get something for him before his value totally disappears.
I honestly would try to flip him, or maybe try to flip Lou Williams.
But actually, this might not be a good time to flip him. Yeah, that's a good point.
Right, but another thing about Paul George, Chandler was making the point that they could have had Gallinari and Shea. Like, think about it. Don't even think about the assets that they lost, all those picks, and the fact that Shea is going to be a great player in the future. Take away Paul George from this roster and put those two guys in. They're a better team in this playoffs than in this bubble. They played. Yeah. Shai was good in that playoff series against Rockets. He was, his normal self, still learning, but still a solid player. Gallinari was great. If you put him out there, also he doesn't need the ball. He can just shoot it. That team fits better. They're just as good. They're a little worse defensively, but they have more depth. It works better. There's not a different superstar on the team that you have to cater to. That team might be going against the Lakers right now, and there's less friction, and they don't lose all their assets. But since It seems like maybe Kawhi Leonard forced the trade of Paul George. It seems to be a major mistake.
He wanted Jimmy Butler, of course. We know that he wanted Jimmy Butler instead of Paul George.
But that was the second option.
Yeah. I will say one comparison that I have, not solely based off like the future of the franchise, but just based off their playoff performance and their expectations, were the Boston Bruins from this year. Because the Bruins had such high expectations going into this bubble, and then you could just tell from the start.
The President's Trophy, just like the 2014 team. Yeah.
Yeah. That, and I've said that 1,000 times with the 2014 team. It's just really disappointing. But,
one of those teams that wasn't bad, but they just did not come close to the expectations.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're just waiting for them like, okay, they got to become the Bruins that we know them as. And, okay, they got to become the Clippers, regular season Kawhi, playoff Kawhi, stuff that we've been saying. I've been saying nonstop. Yeah, I'm just saying, where's playoff Kawhi? Playoff Kawhi is coming out. I said that at least 1,000 times.
Well,
it never truly happened.
Quick point. Well, he did play really well until Game 6. In the first round, he was quite good. In the beginning of this series, up until Game 5, he had 36, 9, and 6 on an efficient shooting night, and they lost. So can't blame him too much. And it almost seems like I don't want to put even a lot of people putting the blame on him, and rightfully so. He should have played a lot better. But the one game he plays poorly, the rest of his teammates can't pick up the slack once. They've played 13 playoff games now. The one game he plays poorly, the rest of the team can't do anything. Paul George, 10 points, 2 of 11 shooting from 3. I mean, you can't play any worse. You might as well just not have had him out there and had other players taking his shots.
That corner 3 was marvelous.
That was like the freaking.
That might have been the worst shot I've ever seen in a playoff game.
He didn't even. I mean, it was like almost like he just missed the entire backboard. It was just like disgusting. Yeah. Well,
I want to say.
Now Doc Rivers has blown his third 3-win lead as a head coach.
I know. Yeah, I saw that. Go ahead, Chandler.
There are a lot of reasons to dislike this Clippers team also. So there are a lot of people celebrating that this team lost.
Yeah, people are psyched all over Twitter.
Lou Will almost destroyed the bubble. Patrick
Beverly.
He injures players. Marcus Morris is also injures players. He's vicious on Luka unnecessarily. Paul George is a serial underperformer. I mean that's really it. Kawhi Leonard. I want to put out something. I'm not like a huge like LeBron fanboy, but if LeBron goes 6 of 22, 14 points, 40
in a game 7.
In a game 7, LeBron's washed. LeBron is now the 7th best player in history instead of the 3rd or the 2nd.
Yeah.
LeBron's legacy is tarnished. He should have retired 7 years ago. Kawhi Leonard is everyone's blaming him, and like Stuart said, rightfully so. But I don't think he's getting enough blame for this. He was good in games 1 through 6. But when you know what you have, you have Paul George who's not going to do anything. You have a lot of defensive players who, sure, they didn't play any defense. Kawhi Leonard, who was Kawhi Leonard guarding? Like, legitimately.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray went to what, like 40?
40. They should have put him on him.
That's when you have to be like the leader. And
also some of the blame has to go on Doc too for the substitutions and for the
keeping Paul George so long.
I think he also tried to put Lou Williams. Why was he out there basically after game? Like basically he did nothing this series. I mean he couldn't make any. He barely made any threes all series, and he's the worst defender on the entire Clippers and the only bad defensive player really on their whole team. So I just don't understand at that point. I mean I know he's highly paid. He's a well-renowned player. He can get you buckets, but like you need to just be like, all right, it's better to play somebody else at this position. Jamal Murray is killing him, and also you got to put Kawhi on Murray. It just seemed like he was trying to. I mean, you can also maybe blame Kawhi for this too, but it seemed like Doc was hiding in his zone and was just hoping that the Clippers would just figure it out. But the Nuggets had penetrated it, and Doc was maybe just too stubborn, like many coaches sometimes get, to switch out of his 3-2 zone that he seemed to be playing. So that was unfortunate.
Yeah, it's disappointing,
I really did want to see LA play LA.
Me too. I said that in the chat after. I'm like, so much for this matchup that we wanted to see.
The NBA and Adam Silver are upset.
I know, they probably are. But I will say this, though. We can't take it away from the Nuggets, though, because they played a really good series.
They were great.
Though it did seem like the Clippers just kind of laid down in the 4th. It just seemed like the Clippers kind of laid down in the 7th. So,
I remember when the Nuggets had Jokic and Nurkic. They traded Nurkic. I was like, that's really interesting. Nurkic was producing really well. I mean, so was Jokic, but nothing like what he's doing now.
Yeah.
that. A lot of people questioned that trade. They said, "Oh, you guys might have traded the wrong guy." No,
Wrong.
They didn't. Nikola Jokic is officially, I might even say he's a top 6 player in the NBA.
I'd say he's right there.
He's up there.
I'd say
definitely top 10.
LeBron, KD, Giannis, Kawhi, Curry, maybe Harden. I think Jokic is right there. Yeah. AD is right. He's at least his lowest I'd say would be 8th.
Yeah,
I don't think he's. Yeah.
That's
and then Jamal
awesome.
Murray. At the beginning of the series, there were a bunch of posts on like Instagram that were saying Jamal Murray really tricked us into thinking he was a top 5 point guard for one series.
Wrong.
God.
Well, clearly he's. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely happened before, as we saw. Kind of. Well, not always, but it happens with players where they're coming out isn't in the regular season where they improve. It's in the playoffs, and then from then on, their career is on a higher trajectory. It's happened multiple times with teams and stuff, but this is definitely, I think, an example. I think this shows that he can be an elite because he didn't really improve from last season to this season. His numbers literally he averaged the exact same amount of points, but I think next season he's going to be an all-star in the West.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. On that note, I say we dive into the series, the Eastern Conference Final that actually began. The Western Conference Final hasn't started yet.
Well, do we just want to quickly talk about Rockets-Lakers ending?
Oh yeah, wait. Did that happen?
Yeah, that ended.
Yeah, that happened since then.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry
Since start, yeah.
Yeah. Rockets lost.
D'Antoni.
Westbrook sucks.
D'Antoni's
The end.
There's not much to say. D'Antoni's gone. I don't think Harden's ever going to win a
D'Antoni's
championship because he's
That's
not going to
so
ever want to
sad.
be a number 2 on any team, and him as number 1, while is unbelievably talented and can take you probably to the conference finals even by himself.
Yeah.
Will never win a championship because we'll never be a team that's bad enough that they're going to be. But, I mean, that's his legacy. I think we just have to accept that. And in Westbrook, I mean,
God, he fell apart.
Paul George and Chris Paul were a perfect fit playing-wise. And then James Harden – not Paul George. James Harden and Chris Paul were a perfect fit playing-wise.
Off
and
the
then
court, though.
James Harden – they're in the little huddle last year.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Chris Paul trying to point something out. James Harden slaps his hand. That's it.
That's when it ended.
At this point, I know it's such like an arbitrary point to say when
It really seemed like after
really
that things
never
went downhill.
him, obviously, but he's not a leader.
No, and also after Game 4, which they got freaking smacked and went down 3-1, the reporter asked him, James, in a must-win game, why did your team come out with so little energy tonight? And he just was like, next question. Like, I mean,
damn.
I'm sorry, but there's no, I can't. I'm not going to criticize him as a person, but like, clearly he doesn't seem to care much about the outcome of the game, if that's his answer. Or if he does care, he doesn't care enough. Or just giving up. And also Westbrook, I mean, it's possible that they would go on to a different direction, but we'll see. That they trade him.
I don't know. I mean, if he is going to win a championship, though, I can't think of a talented enough number 2 besides Anthony Davis who would be able to get him that.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think there's talented enough. There's talented enough players, but not a number 2.
Yeah, exactly.
That they would be. Yeah.
Like if they signed Giannis, Harden would be pissed.
Maybe they could try. I don't know, Paul George for Harden.
I mean,
if the Rockets
some other pieces in there. I mean, but you get him for a season. You're going into a rebuild. I don't know if the Clippers don't have a ton of assets, but they could try to maybe work out a third team or something. Trade whatever picks they have left.
Westbrook and George can work together again.
That would be
weird. And then I think they would also have to trade Westbrook to like the Knicks or something like that.
Yeah, to be done at that point. You have to try to revert back to like 2013.
I think they trade Westbrook first if there's going to be a deal at all. But
Westbrook and picks for Kyrie?
No. Why would the Nets do that?
Maybe imagine Kyrie and Paul George.
The Nets would not do that.
There's
better
no
than Westbrook. So
well, I mean, you never
They
know.
literally
Made some
already
pretty
have
bad
Kevin
trades.
They would not do that.
Why would you want Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook back together again?
Oh yeah, they'd be back together. Yeah, no.
That would be weird.
I think you try to flip it to like the Wizards. Just let Westbrook get some stats and.
Oh yeah. The Wizards have all the teams.
To the Bulls. To the Bulls. That'd be a good place. Huh. Westbrook to the Bulls. He get them in the 8th seed.
What?
I mean, they already have Kobe White though. I like Kobe White.
Yeah, well, he can play.
I don't think they can trade for a point guard like that.
Yeah.
What are they going to give? What are they going to give the Rockets? The Rockets,
probably him. Probably him. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
I don't know. I don't think that would happen, but I don't know. If it did, that'd be very interesting.
All right.
Yeah, well.
On to the Eastern Conference Final. Celtics versus Heat. We all picked Celtics game 1 off screen, and they lost.
I want to talk about this game first.
Did you both pick the Celtics in the series?
Yeah.
Yes, I picked Celtics in 6, I believe.
I'm the only one
I
who
picked
picked the
them in
Heat.
7.
Even though
Wait, did I?
don't like the Heat. I picked the Heat in 7.
I think I
Just
picked
'cause I'm trying to be
Celtics in
impartial,
7.
but
I might have
yeah,
picked them in
you did
6.
too. I think you both did. But, yeah, well, it was a good game and we lost. That's really all I have to say about it.
What the hell is happening to Kemba Walker?
Oh, yeah,
That's
that
the
too.
thing.
Fucking
Yeah.
ridiculous. He needs to play better.
What
Or it's
the
just
He's my
hell?
favorite. He's my favorite player in the NBA. He even was when he was on the Hornets. But oh my God, his biggest trait in the NBA has been that he's a really good closer. He hasn't really had an opportunity to do that because the teams have always sucked.
It wasn't even that bad the first round.
See,
I know.
that's the thing, dude. Because after
Maybe he's
all
run
this,
out. Maybe he's run out of steam.
Maybe.
yeah, after all this time, he's been like, in all the interviews and anything, I came to Boston because I wanted to win. Do you think he would be motivated in a situation like this, especially in the series against the Raptors?
I wouldn't say he's not motivated. It's just that he just.
I
it's
know,
just
but
not
wouldn't
going
he
down.
perform?
He's
I
not a
think
good
he
might be
defender.
gassed.
He's
He
not
needs
a-
to get his
Is he
touch
in
back.
his own head? Is that the thing?
Well, maybe, yeah. But, I don't think he's, not motivated. I just think the shots aren't
No,
going
I don't
in.
either.
It's
It's
more
just I would
similar
think
to
that
Paul
he's this
George.
motivated. Why
I don't
isn't he
think Paul
performing?
George didn't not
Oh,
care
but-
about winning.
What are you trying to make?
He's gonna
Point here are you trying to make, Nick? He's missing jump shots. What if you're motivated or not motivated? It doesn't matter. He's shot thousands
No,
of jump
what I'm
shots in his
saying
way.
is that I'm surprised that since he's this motivated, he's missing this many shots. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Motivation
okay.
and form doesn't really correlate.
Yeah, that's not really a correlation.
Well, not
Just
form
because
a guy-
technically.
player in the world,
Do you
doesn't
not?
mean you're gonna
Did you
make
think
three points.
Kawhi wasn't motivated last night to win, and that he still played poorly?
Yeah.
Just because you're not,
No,
just
yeah.
because you're motivated doesn't mean you play well. And that's
Yeah, I
just-
guess.
maybe he's too
I
motivated.
just-
Maybe he's too pumped up.
Maybe, I guess.
He's
I
too
don't know.
pumped up, and I don't know. It doesn't.
needs to
I mean,
play
one
less
thing that's
next
good is that
probably.
he doesn't seem to be forcing it too much. But I think Brad is forcing it through him too much. You just
Maybe.
got to get it. You got to get Jalen more ball time, and you got to get Jason an ISO. Stop giving it to Kemba ISO at the top of the key.
Okay.
Down the stretch.
I have a question for you guys. That last shot in the fourth quarter, Tatum shot. Do you think that's a good shot or no?
In overtime or when?
No,
Oh,
the first
when he
one.
got blocked by Bam?
No.
No.
Wait, what was the shot? Wait,
The
remind me
step
what
back.
it was.
Step back
Oh,
on
the one you texted about in the chat?
yeah. I think that was a good shot, personally.
Yeah, I mean he's a great player, and
Yeah.
you take your chances with the kind of shot like
And
that.
then the
Usually, and
drive
also
was
Miami's
stupid. The drive
Yeah.
was stupid.
no, he shouldn't have just laid it in over him or tried to get fouled.
Floater.
Once he knew he didn't have the
Floater.
angle. Floater. I mean, get a
Bam.
goaltender, something, or
Bam
swing it out in
is
the corner.
terrifying. Bam is
Yeah.
Do
terrifying.
something.
That was an unbelievable play.
That
It
was
was.
incredible. Full props to Bam
I mean,
there.
This is partially, but part of the reason why I
God.
did pick Miami is because of depth. And without Hayward, we really don't have that much. And Miami just has too many guys who can make shots. But, you never know. We can still win the series. I mean, I said
Wait.
7, so.
When is Hayward coming back? Is he coming back?
He's doubtful for game 2, so probably game 3 or 4.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
it-
okay.
that's
So it's
before.
not that. It's not as far as we think.
But then going
That's
in-
the thing.
hoping.
When's his kid
Yeah.
gonna be born?
It was already born. I
Oh,
think.
really?
Yeah.
Hooray!
He's still rehabbing
Yeah,
for
it
his
was-
injury, but that's also.
It was.
Yeah.
I thought he
I
was.
know- yeah, I know
They
right
were
now
due
it's supposed to be.
beginning of August, right? Is
Yeah.
that what we
There's
said?
some people that he wasn't born yet, but I don't know. That'd be tough.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
well,
But if he's doubtful, at least he's not out. That's the thing.
Yes.
he's not going to play, but yeah.
No, I mean
Doubtful.
game 2, not. But in the series again, I would be happy.
Yeah.
Maybe game
We
3 or
need
4.
him.
Let's hope.
We need him.
We only have 2 game breaks, so you just hope that he gets
Yeah.
healthy enough.
Yeah.
We need him as a backup
Stressful
point guard.
times.
That's what we need him as.
I mean,
As a shot maker.
I said it at the start. This is looking like our year. I mean, next year though is gonna be even better. But we have
We can't keep
shots.
talking about next year as Celtics fans, though. We've always
Exactly.
Or
talked about
sports
next
fans.
year.
Always
since
look forward to
2016.
next year.
As sports
Oh,
fans,
yeah, next
people
year
always
is
talk
our-
about their following years as their years, but then something happens, they're not quite as good, and then the trend just goes downward. You just have to try to
Yeah.
win. Like, that's what I said about the team in 2018. Like, people were like, oh, we're
After
beating the
Hayward.
Cavs right now, but we don't have Hayward or Kyrie, so
Yeah.
we just go wait for the future. I'm like, no, we need to try to do everything we can right now. You don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And lo and
Absolutely.
behold, it didn't work out.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, but we have a serious chance, dude. I think if we get in the finals against the Lakers, we have a legitimate chance of winning that series. I
I
think
like
it's
it.
going to go to
I hope
7
so.
games.
I like it.
It would definitely go to 7 games, but
I'm not sure if we win that, but I like the matchup.
I mean, I'd say it's more likely it doesn't go to 7 games than it does, but sure. They have the 2 best players in the series by a considerable margin. So
I know, but past those 2 players, we've talked about this before.
The 8th, 9th, and 10th best starters in that series.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Let's hope we can beat Miami first, Nick. I mean, we're down
I
know.
1-0.
Yeah, you're right.
If we lose this next game, I mean.
I underestimated Miami, dude, because I thought they were going to be a little bit easier of a matchup than we had against Toronto. But apparently,
I think they're much more. I think
they're way more hard. They're way harder.
I think they're just as difficult, if not harder.
I guess. It's scary times. Scary times. But it's hopeful too. We have a chance. That's the thing.
Yep. All right. Well, let's do the game predictions.
All right. Yep. Wait. Well, now let's send it to our NHL guys with the NHL update. And a quick baseball update for you guys as well. So let's send it over to the hockey guys. All right, I am joined here by fellow hockey analysts. We got Chris Gambus here. My name is Nick Antonox. You just saw me in the previous part. But we're going to be talking some hockey today, Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals to discuss. The Stanley Cup final matchup has been set, and we also have some predictions for you guys. So, Chris, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good, sticking through with it. It's getting exciting because, getting all the way to the Stanley Cup final. It's weird having it in September, but,
yeah,
we're lucky to be here having it. So,
yeah,
let's just dive right into it. We'll start with the East that wrapped up last night. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the New York Islanders going to 6 games in their best-of-7 series. The Lightning wrapping it up yesterday in Game 6. Getting the win in overtime over the Islanders. And the Islanders put up a good fight yesterday.
Yeah, I was rooting for the Islanders. I really wanted them to pull through and have that crazy comeback. But, they had a good performance, brought it to overtime in Game 6. But in the end, the Lightning came on top, which isn't bad. I mean, this is kind of their year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that definitely, of the course of the game yesterday, I feel like the Islanders were kind of controlling, especially that third period. They were getting a lot of opportunities. Bailey had that breakaway in overtime. They had a chance to seal the deal a couple of times, but the Lightning were just so good defensively. They barely allowed any shots on net. While they had 50, the Islanders had 25. So doubling them in shots, and they just had a bunch of blocked shots. So, the Islanders, they put up a great fight. Varlamov played a great game, but, like you said, I agree with you. This is the Islanders. Not the Islanders. This is the Lightning's year to win the Cup. The Bruins are out. Their competition is kind of gone. Even though the Islanders put up a good fight in the Eastern Conference final, we were kind of seeing the future here with the Lightning advancing to the Stanley Cup final. So they will advance. It was, Game 5, the Islanders won it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then because the Lightning went up 3-1 at one point, and the Islanders pushed it back in Game 5. They played good in Game 5, but, not much of a fight there.
Yeah. I really liked Matt Barzal in this entire series. He was great. And, I really wanted the Islanders, honestly, but I'm fine with the Lightning winning, too. It's not too bad. They're the ones who knocked out the Bruins, so it's – the Bruins lost.
Makes us look better.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then now we move to the West, where Chris has got his team, the Dallas Stars, putting up a very great performance in the Western Conference Final. Yeah, rocking the Stars jersey, the Sagan jersey. Stars winning in 5, knocking out the Golden Knights. Leonard stayed in net. Some controversy still going on in Vegas about the goaltending situation, but the Stars were able to close it out in 5 in what looked like a pretty dominated series by the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, even though they ended their series the same way the Lightning did in overtime. Khudobin played amazing. He was a former Bruin, and he did not play like this with. So pretty cool to see him light it up like this. It's amazing. He had 34 saves in that overtime win. And Jamie Benn had the winning goal, right? Is that true?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And they all played really well. They pretty much dominated that game, like you said. And the whole series, they won in 5, 4-1. And I'm excited. I think that it's a good competition for the Lightning because the Lightning are clearly the best team. So I think the Stars can put up a good fight and hopefully win.
Yeah, with this defensive Lightning team with Vasilevsky and the defensive core that the Lightning has, I think the best offense to throw at them right now would definitely be the Dallas Stars offense, just totally stacked up front. Pavelski, Sagan, Ben, just it goes down the list, just plenty of guys. And then even on the back end, you have guys who can, get goals during the game. But, if there's a team to face right now for the Lightning, one weakness for the Lightning would be just getting more shots on net. As good as Vasilevsky is, you can't stop him forever. We saw the same problem with the Bruins in their second-round series. They just couldn't get enough shots on net, and when they did, Vasilevsky was there to stop them. So if the Stars can just pound the net and get a bunch of shots on, they have a chance.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the Stars have a great depth in their offense, and they're the team to kind of put the pressure on and hopefully get some goals and shut Vasilevsky down. Don't let him do what he did to all the other teams.
Yeah, definitely. But, the Knights, they put up a good fight. I thought they would put up a better fight than they did. Like you said, only going down in 5. The Stars kind of dominated the series. But it's going to be interesting to see what the Vegas Golden Knights do during this offseason with their goaltending situation. And, they got to find another piece to move to that next level, it's looking like.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that they're pretty confident in Leonard. I mean, Marc-Andre Fleury only played 1 game, and it ended up in a loss. And so he's still a great goaltender. Don't get me wrong; he's amazing. I think he's even better than Leonard. Not this playoffs, but as an overall goaltender, I think I'd choose Marc-Andre Fleury. But I don't know, maybe they move him somewhere and try and get something in return, or we'll see what happens. But yeah,
and to think they only got him from the Blackhawks for a 3rd-round pick, Robin Leonard. There's just a steal for the Golden Knights, and I bet they could get some pretty good assets for Marc-Andre Fleury if they were to trade him, which I believe they will because Fleury's not happy. The Knights have a new starter, and they could get a good amount of pieces for him.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. The Knights have a good future, but good for the Stars making it to the Cup final. Our Stanley Cup final matchup, we have the Dallas Stars versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, a matchup that I would have never really thought we would see. We actually predicted it correctly, half of it. We had the Stars getting to the Cup final in our original predictions all the way back with Tommy a couple months back. But
not too far off. We did have the Lightning in the Eastern Conference Finals, but we had them losing to the Bruins. So, I mean, not too far off. We had Stars and then Bruins. And then the Lightning would have, if they were to beat the Bruins in the Eastern Conference Finals, then they would go to the Stanley Cup. But, yeah, pretty good by us.
I know. I'm happy with the Stars prediction because the Bruins one was more expected. The Stars, you really pushed on that. You were confident in the Stars, and you were right about it. So, let's go.
I'll take the credit.
All right, now let's send it back to the basketball guys. They're going to give you their predictions for the upcoming NBA playoffs, and then they'll come back to us with our NHL playoff predictions. Welcome to the NBA predictions, where we're going to be giving all of our predictions for all of the conference final matchups in the NBA, the Eastern Conference Final, Western Conference Final. We're going to predict those through, and then we'll be back next week with the full recap of those series as well. So let's dive into it. Chandler, why don't you go down the line and give us the records that we have from the past week?
All right. So the last week we all picked the exact same games. We all went 4-4. However, I'm just going to take this as a little personal win because I'm the only person who has my NBA champion still in. So I'm going to pat myself in the back. But for the records, we actually all went 4-5 because
I would say that in a hypothetical, if the Clippers had won, I was probably going to pick the Lakers when we actually did this predictions. I mean, it was trending so much. It was trending so much in the Lakers, but yeah.
Yeah. But, so in last place, nothing's changed. In last place, we still have Nick. Yeah, Nick, put your hand, you don't want to hear this one. I plugged your ears if I were you too. 37-26. Then Stuart and I are still both tied at 41-22. That means Nick is 4 games back. Well done, Nick.
It's pretty much done for me. I mean, unless if I can make a miraculous comeback here, but if I do,
You
then
probably won't be dissenting that much. So
yeah, I know.
like Donis said once, go to my Venmo.
I don't intend to go to your Venmo. No.
Bonus.
I'm not Venmo you anything. You don't even have you don't even have a debit card. So how am I supposed to Venmo you something?
That's also true.
That's
I
tough.
don't know.
Okay, let's do these
Mail me
predictions.
cash. That's the smartest thing to do. Send cash in the mail.
That's fucking stupid as shit. The mailman's
I
probably
know.
gonna take a 10
was,
out for him.
it was exaggerating, Stuart. Oh my god.
No, it wasn't.
Not exaggerating. It was sarcasm.
Once you got called out, you pretended it was sarcasm.
No, I didn't. I swear to God.
That's cap. Let's just do the predictions.
No cap.
All right, who's got the games
Go
up?
ahead.
Who's got the paper out?
I have the games.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so we have I'm just gonna say Eastern Conference Finals and Western Conference Finals. We have Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Whoa. I'm gonna pick the
Celtics.
Celtics because we better win this over the series.
Yeah, me too. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that, but
before the 2-0 hole, it's starting to get
that's tough because these are home games too. I mean,
that's tough. There you go.
Okay.
What's wrong
Western
with you?
Conference Finals Game 1.
It's late. It's 11:38.
Yeah.
There you go.
11:37 actually, but
My clock's in my head.
Western Conference Finals Game 1. I'm picking the
Lakers.
I will also pick the Lakers. All right. Give me 1 second. Talk about something.
If you haven't already, make sure to follow us on Instagram.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. No.
Follow us on TikTok.
Do not follow us on goddamn TikTok. Only follow Donus's TikTok. Donimals.
Okay, we're good.
Follow Donus's TikTok at Donimals.
All right. Eastern Conference Finals Game 3.
Pick the Heat.
I'm going Heat.
I'm going Celtics.
All right.
Yeehaw.
Stuart?
Yeah, I picked the Heat.
Yeah, he said Heat.
Yeah,
okay, then Western Conference Finals Game 2.
I'll pick the Nuggets.
I'm going to go Heat. No, not Heat. Jesus. Lakers again.
All right. Eastern
Kelly, you picking the Nuggets?
Game... Yeah, I picked the Nuggets.
All right.
Eastern Conference Finals Game 4. I'll go with the Heat.
I'm going Celtics.
Celtics.
Western Conference Finals Game 3.
Nuggets.
I'm picking the Lakers.
Hold on. God. Let's speed this up a little. Can somebody else do the writing? No,
do you want me to read the games?
Yeah, just read the games.
Okay.
I have them. It's fine. Western Conference Finals Game 3. Are we all going Lakers?
Yeah.
No, Nick, I thought you picked the Nuggets. Okay.
Oh, no. Sorry, yeah. I just blanked.
Yeah,
Nuggets.
I picked the Lakers.
Game 5.
Of the East.
Finals.
I'm gonna go Celtics.
Me too.
Okay. Western Conference Game 4.
I'll
go with the Lakers.
I'll pick the Lakers.
I'm gonna go Lakers.
Okay. Eastern Conference Game 6.
What day is this on?
What day? Thursday. So do we want to stop it?
Yeah. Stop it. Yeah.
I think it's on. I think it's actually on Saturday.
Saturday.
Game 6 is on Friday.
Okay, so we went ahead.
Do it just in case. Actually, wait, no.
No, because there's going to be another podcast by Wednesday.
No, we will. We'll have it.
Okay, so that's it.
All right, beautiful. Now we'll send it to the NHL guys with their NHL predictions. Peace out from the basketball guys. Bye.
All right, thank you guys. Back here with our NHL cast. We have some predictions for you for the Stanley Cup final. Donis unable to join us today, but I will read off his predictions. Thank you, Chris, for joining me, by the way, amid school and everything for you. But right now, the standings for the NHL predictions look pretty tight right now. I mean, at least the first top 2 positions. But, in first place for the record prediction, we have Chris with a record of 65-53, doing pretty well there. Then in second place, we have Donis with a record of 64-54. Wow. So only 1 game back of Chris. And then in last place, you have me 57 and 62. I worked my way back a little bit. I used to be 8 games below 500, but now I'm only 5. So, hooray, I guess.
Nice.
Then in the point standings, we have tied for second place. We have myself and Donis both with 21 points, and then Chris in first place with 22 points. So, I still have a chance in the points, but the record is what's more important. But I'll take it. So we'll start with the predictions. Chris, do you want to go down and read yours first? Or actually, wait. Maybe let me read Donis's first because he's not here to defend himself, so we can just roast him. So Donis has the Lightning in 7. By his game-by-game scenario, he has Lightning, Stars, Lightning, Stars, Stars, Lightning, Lightning. So he has the Lightning going down 3-2 and then coming back from a 3-2 deficit to win the series. So confident there. Nice prediction by Donis, I guess. And Chris, do you want to go ahead and give yours?
Sure. I'm going to go Stars, Lightning, Stars, Stars, Lightning, Stars. So that's Stars.
Stars, Lightning, Stars.
Stars, Lightning, Stars. So it's Stars in 5. No, 6. Sorry, 6.
Wow. Stars and 6 for Chris.
I wanted to bring it to 7, but I'm really, really confident. And that might be what puts Andrew ahead. Hopefully not.
Yeah. I mean, I hope the Stars win, but my brain is telling me Lightning. So I'm gonna go Lightning in 6. And then for my game-by-game predictions, I'm gonna go Lightning, Stars, Lightning, Lightning, Stars, Lightning. Jesus. So Lightning, Stars, Lightning, Lightning, Stars, Lightning. So Lightning take it in 6. Like we said many of times throughout this podcast, this is the Lightning's year. And it's going to be interesting to see. I hope the Stars win, but it's looking more and more like it's going to be the Lightning's year, but you never know. We predicted the Stars to come this far. I'm surprised they did, but they got a chance.
Big chance.
Big chance. All right. That's basically it for this episode. This first combination episode of the Nosebleeds podcast, basketball and hockey all in one place. So thank you everybody so much for watching. We'll see you back here next week, next Friday for, I think it'll probably be our last hockey episode because by then I think the Stanley Cup final should be done. But if it's not, then we'll have one more for you. But, edging close to the end of the NHL playoffs as well as the NBA playoffs. We hope you all enjoyed. From the Nosebleeds podcast, my name is Nick Antonakis. We'll see you next time.